to say, okay, I'm a project manager. That's the scope I have to manage. If you want to have more scope, give me a larger box. Because basically the boxes are your time, your quality, your cost you have. You want to have more, give me a larger box. I cannot start piling things on top of it, quite visible. Then you give this participant, this box to a participant and say, okay, how does it feel? And people will say, oh, that's quite heavy. Then you say, okay, how does this feel? And people will be quite happy. So that's the difference between the work breakdown structure, the scope statement here, work breakdown structure, and you start to show a little work breakdown structure. Okay, when you have a little work breakdown structure, what you do is you need to make decisions on the right resources. Okay, which means for this work package you need a guy with only one foot. And on this work package you need a guy with 2 feet. So basically, once you have the work breakdown structure done, you start building up your organization. Next thing you are doing, you develop the schedule. Now, when we know what to do, when can we do it? And basically here, you are developing the network structure. And the schedule. And when you have the schedule done, what you do is, the resources. We have a little calendar here. When you have it, and you have your dates, your project dates, and you say to the people, okay, you say to the one person with 1 foot, I need you on the 17th. And you say to the people with person with 2 feet, I need you on the 15th. And what will the people say? Thank you that you came across and gave me some work. I had nothing to do. And finally somebody is giving me some work, correct? Or will the people say, bugger off, I'm already busy? After you've done this, you can calculate the budget. So have a clear structure, have a clear validation. Next thing you're doing, quality. You look whether the deliverables you produce are fit for purpose. So you think about how to have good measurements, how to make sure that the requirements are fully understood. And the next process you do risk management, okay? Looking at risk management, you have to consider the hierarchical status of a project manager in an organization is equal to a mouse, okay? The mice and project manager are on the same organizational level. And the project is full of mousetraps. And if you know all the mousetraps, it will increase your likelihood of success, because it's risks. If you know all the cheese, then easily you can also have fun doing the project. For hygienic reasons, I've ate the cheese, okay? If I open the box every 3 months and the cheese is then still there, it changes a little bit, it starts to smell, and so therefore better if you get it, eat your cheese, okay, before you put it in the box. Risk management. Risk management, looking for the mousetraps, and see how to manage them, looking for the positive risks. Nearly there. Next process you're doing, communications planning. If you have a lot of rumors on your project, it's not a good sign. Basically, you have to manage the communication. You have a guy here, okay. You have a sophisticated cell phone. Most probably, if I would switch it on, it would have a battery and for another 4 weeks. The good old ones. And you manage the communication. Last planning process we do, procurement, okay? A lot of projects are done with external support. Okay, and this supplier needs to be built up a little bit after they've talked to purchasing. You see sometimes purchasing destroys the motivation. Now we have a fully operational supplier again. And we will work with it. And all these steps, all these planning steps will go into a handbook. That's our project plan. Okay? And after you've did this, you start to work, okay? Then you start to work. Some people start to work because people like to work, and then they figure out it doesn't work out, and then they think, okay? Right sequence, first to plan, then to think. And then to execute. If you have done this, what you do is monitor and control. You have a gyro. Is the project still on track? Is it deviating? What do I have to do in order to bring it back on track? Do I have to change something? Do I have to work harder? And at the end of the game, lessons learned shown by a piggy bank. And then basically you have everything you need in order to manage a project. You initiate a project, you plan a project, you execute a project, you control the project, close the project, and then what you do is you define the project charter and do the stakeholder analysis. Then you plan the scope, the work packages, you do the schedule, the resources, the costs, the quality, the risks, communication, procurement, and everything ends in the project plan. And basically this learning street you leave in the classroom for the whole 5 days of the training course, and you always refer back to it. And basically it gives you the agenda. On the first day what you will do is, you will do the initiation. On day 2 and 3 you will go through the planning processes. On day 4 you will do execution, monitor, control. On day 5 you will do the closing. So that's basically the learning street, and very important, before you started, but definitely if you ended, you have the gong.